Hey, Dr. Weeks friends, this is Mr. I. I'm gonna tell you something about sound today. I know some of the classes at school already have review things about sound when you're in first grade. When you're in fourth grade, you don't learn about sound, but you learn how to use magnets. And if you see there's a speaker right here, underneath there's like a huge magnet. So it's always good to know like the applications that you could have with the use of magnets. So like all speakers use magnets. If you didn't know that, well, now you can check out like some of the speakers that you might have at home, and each speaker that you see, there's definitely a magnet in there. Okay, so for sound, we have like an equipment over here, and something that you can spot right here, it's a phone. So I'm just using this phone as a source of music. So you can plug it to any radio, computer, or something that provides music or a type of sound, okay? And the next one, the one that I already mentioned, is the speaker right here. So that's a really big speaker. It's not the one that you usually see, in the classroom or at your home. It's a very big speaker because it produces a lot of sound. And the next one that looks a little bit like what? It's some of you probably are like, that's a radio. Well, it's not exactly a radio. That's what we call an amplifier. And an amplifier, it's necessary because of the size of speaker that we're using in here. Okay, so sometimes like speakers, like if you put your headphones, those are really tiny and they don't really need energy, right? Like you just plug it to your phone and you can hear music. But this type of speaker right here, it needs some energy in order to function. I can plug it directly to my phone and it's not gonna work because the phone doesn't have that much energy for it, electricity per se. So like this one right here is gonna give some energy to the speaker to function. But besides doing that, it also is gonna give it more increase on the sound or volume than what it's from my phone. So it basically, like if my phone can make, you can turn the volume up, but it's not gonna make it very loud. But this one is gonna make it a lot louder. So the word amplify means making things greater, louder, right? When we're talking about sound. Okay, so this amplifier or amplifier is gonna help us to make that sound a lot louder than probably it's just by connecting it directly to the phone, if that was possible. Okay, so in a second, I'm gonna turn on this speaker. And you're gonna see something interesting. This speaker is gonna start vibrating because speakers basically just transfer sound, but sound it's only produced by vibration, right? If you are in first grade, you probably already know this. Like any sound that you produce or you make, it works by vibration. So when things vibrate, that's when you can make a sound. If I have like something that's like a metallic piece, right? So I have something that's like this, right? Is there sound right now? Probably not because nothing is hitting it, right? But the moment that I hit this, there's a sound. So, and there's a vibration. I can feel it on my hands every time I tap on it. There's a vibration. So let's see how we can check this vibration through that speaker, okay? I'm gonna turn on my phone so I can put. So I don't know if you can see a little bit of the speaker moving right now while that music's playing. But let me put this so you can probably see a little bit better how it vibrates. All right, so when we have sound, there's definitely vibrations. But what about the sound when we're like having a conversation with a friend, or when you're yelling like something to your friend or to your pet, right? When you're calling somebody by their name, how does that sound work? Because we don't really see that sound. The vibrations we're seeing on the speaker. So how does sound travel exactly? So sound travels by waves, and it's through space, right? So like we don't really see these waves. They're kind of like invisible, right? And if we were outside of the earth, in the actual space outside of the earth, there will be no sound. Do you know why? Because there's no air. So sound can travel through air, but it cannot travel if there's absence or there's no air. So when you go outside of the earth into space, there's really no sound because it needs air in order to travel. Okay? So how are we gonna represent these waves that we're talking about? You're like, I can't see waves. I see the speaker vibrating, but I can't see waves. So I'm gonna put some stuff on this speaker, and I'm gonna play like maybe like the same song and probably a different one. And we're gonna check out how these waves are produced. And I'm gonna show you at the end of the video something that you can do at home in order to check out like some of these waves. Or if you happen to go like, I don't know, when it's a warmer day to the lake, you can observe that too. But I'll tell you at the end of the video, okay? But for now, I'm gonna get this ready, and then I'll let you know when it's up. All right, guys. So I have placed this plate right here, this metallic plate with some water inside, and it's like being held by the speaker. So if I backed up the camera a little bit, you're gonna see the speakers right there. That's the amplifier, and my phone is right here. So once I put the water in there, it's because we want to see these waves that we were talking about. So like because when we're talking or listening to sound, these waves are invisible. We cannot see them, but they're there. So water is just basically going to help us to see a representation of these waves and using sound as well because of the speaker. So if you see me right here, like I'm just going to tap my the speaker. So remember, right, every time there's vibration, there's a creation of these waves that transfer sound. So like I'm just going to tap a little bit, and do you see how the water starts moving a little bit? The harder I tap, you start seeing the water moving more and more and more, and you can perceive some waves, like some circles in there forming. So now let's use like an actual sound, like an actual song, and maybe like we can see this this representation of waves, like based on the sound, right? So here it goes.
The film you are about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
guys. So every time you heard the song, you can see like there was different frequencies, like that means different variations in sound. And every time that there was a change in the sound, the waves seem to change. Sometimes like you can see like a little waves forming inside other waves, and then at some points it was just like a relaxing wave that it like creates in the middle and will expand. So that's a way to like make ourselves being able to perceive how sound works and that it travels through waves. So like if you're at home and you're like, Mr. I would like to do something like this at home, but I don't have all this equipment. But I would like to see like, these waves that you're talking about. So every time, like, if you're in a lake and you have a little rock and you throw the rock to the lake, and once the rock like crashes against the water, you see like this little like wave being created. Sometimes like it depends on the impact of the rock. So like if it's a really big rock, it's gonna make like a bigger wave. But if it's a little tiny rock, it's just gonna create like a little tiny wave, right? So something that you can do if you're at home, you can find anything that looks a little like a little marble or something like tiny. Like this time, like I just gonna use like this right here. It's like a little peanut, right? And you can fill any bowl that you have with water. And what you're gonna do is like drop it from like, you can try different distances. Remember, the bigger the impact, that means more sound, right? And like if I drop it right here, it's not gonna do anything really much because there's no greater distance, so the sound is not gonna be as like much. So I'm gonna try to drop it from like a different, like a higher up distance, and hopefully you can see how it starts forming a wave due to the impact. All right, do you see that? So you can try to see those waves when you're at home if you want to just try it out. It's really easy. Just grab a bowl and fill it up with water, and grab any little item that you can find at home. It really doesn't have to be a peanut or anything. Like I just had these peanuts laying around, so that's why I picked it up. Okay, so I'll come back and I'll tell you more about sound. We're gonna keep using this this bowl for another part of the experiment, and I'll upload it in a different video. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I know it's a little bit harsh to be at home for so long, but just please stay safe, okay? So I'll talk to you soon, guys.